All right. I think I've got it pretty well set up. Um, all right.
Yes. You uncovered something interesting, but it is bound up in a peril or reveals an ominous aspect of this place. Then,
Bound up in apparel or leaves it. What was that about though? That was in. Oh, that was Explore Waypoint. On a week hit,
well,
you
so I
uncover
mean, the whole
something.
thing is that we need to jump out of this ice planet black hole place and back to the Sea of Scars. That's what.
Accurate. Yep.
Um, yep, that's what the uh, parasite thing wanted, right?
Sure.
And so we did that, and the goal was that we were supposed to get over there and then do stuff. And so then you rolled Explore Waypoint, which is, I think, for our actual journey, right?
Yeah,
Was
it
the
was a week hit. You uncover something interesting. It's bound up in apparel. Take plus momentum. Does nothing.
right.
Um,
So then, yeah. So I did undertake
you
an
know what?
expedition, and I got a strong hit. So we got to where I had aimed for. But then you did Explore Waypoint, and so got there, I think, and that's when it was
It
just a
was
week
after
hit.
we got there and I was exploring the waypoint. I was basically like putting my sensors and feelers out on this thing. I want to look at something.
Yes.
Um, Let me write something down here real quick. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I wanted to make that note. So I'm looking at that on a week hit. You okay? So explore waypoint on a week hit. You uncover something interesting. I want to look at this move again because is it worth it to me? Exploration moves. Explore waypoint. My role was 4 versus 3 and a 6, but I have momentum of a strong hit with a strong hit. Choose one. Find an opportunity. Envision a favorable insight, situation, resource, or encounter. Take plus 2 momentum. Don't need them. Gain progress. Mark progress on your expedition per its rank. Is it worth it? Do you think to burn the momentum just to make progress on like moving along? I'm not sure
Yeah,
if
I
the
think
answer.
so.
I'm not sure. Is it? I'm not sure if the answer is yes, because that progress
Well,
is the well, if we can figure out, because what would be the expedition? The expedition is uh nope. Looking over here on the shared sheet. The expedition is too short here. Let me look. Come on, where are we? Get to Cobalt Reach. We could do it. It would advance the get to Cobalt Reach by a tick. I'm just wondering what I could have gotten from exploring the waypoint that would advance it, and it may be worth it to have the 10 momentum waiting around for another move. You know what I'm saying?
sure, sure.
Um, the one momentum doesn't do anything, and I was looking at it going, man, it would be really, if it was matching numbers, I wouldn't even think about it. If the two dice that were against it were matching numbers, I could force a discovery too, like some sort of
Right.
psychic discovery. Forget about it. I would do it in a heartbeat.
Right. But just to get the strong hit's not going to buy anything.
Yeah.
From my hearing.
But the thing is, if it was a match, I would either already have the match or I would be failing with the match, in which case it would definitely. I don't think so. Okay. In any case, so problem is sometimes these notes are not enough for me to go, what was I thinking? So I did the thing, uncover something interesting, but it's bound up in a peril or reveals an ominous aspect of this place. Envision what you encounter. Take plus momentum, and then you two, I have a question. What was I going to ask?
You were wandering around the ship, back and forth,
Yeah.
having psychic thoughts about what was here in the Sea of Scars, and about where we needed to go, because I basically did the expedition, got a strong hit, and then decipher precursor progress advanced, see the symbiote through the Sea of Scars progress advanced. And then I had a vow that was see the symbiote through, and I got a weak hit on that vow. But, and then.
But that still moves things
Oh,
along.
no, that's your vow. Sorry.
Yeah. I think my thing.
Vow.
Yeah. I think what I was looking, I think what I'm pondering here is like something about, I was like watching how the I'm not calling it the veil.
The balefire.
Yeah, the balefire is interacting with these scars, and I'm thinking to myself, like, why, if these things are maybe a barrier, protective, a wall, maybe they're a cage for us. We've been thinking of them as a cage for us that don't let us, because the balefire doesn't let us out of the system. But if they're actually protective for us, in any of this, why is the circle, the embers, the circle of embers, why are they so gung-ho to be a part of all of the different ships that were sent out to explore the balefire barrier coming down? Because ours is the only ship that they weren't part of. Why were they so gung-ho about it? And are they gung-ho because they really want to see it happen?
Or that they want to sabotage
or they want to sabotage it across the board? Or and then there's a furthermore. If they want to see it happen, do they want to see it happen because they think it's good for us, or they want to see it happen because Cthulhu awakens?
Right.
You know, they want it to come down because yes, it actually is a protective ward for us, and screw all those things. And I guess this is what I want. So this is me thinking out loud about something that we should probably be tearing down like in play. So
right. And I also had that thing last time that it may be that the influence of the precursors in our systems has slowly changed us from the precursor artifacts and to be more like the precursors in some way. Hence why Cole has the powers she does.
Yeah. So my question I have for you, and I don't know the answer for it. This is not this is not a Socratic questioning. I'm not doing some sort of nonsense where I already feel like I know the answer and I'm just trying to get you all to agree with me. I legitimately do not know the answer to this question, but I do feel as though it's a question that needs some thought. That question is, why did the Circle of Embers want so very badly to be involved in every single one of the exploratory ships that we're being sent out now that the balefire has dropped. We can theoretically escape this sector to meet our brothers and sisters the next sector over. Are they? Because we're beginning to understand that the balefire may be beneficial in some ways. Cole, I know you. I imagine that you can feel as I can the pressing weight of ill regard from that being on the other side of the scars in this sea that we sail through right now. That great eye that currently looks past us. And certainly the balefire obscures that as I feel it wave through in bits and pieces, in strips and wisps through the area. I feel that regard weaken, be obscured. And I am grateful in those moments for the balefire that we have cursed our entire lives and for generations. Is this a cage this thing is built for us, or are there protective walls? And if they're walls, if it's a cage, I can understand the Circle of Embers wanting to bring it down. If it is a protective wall and they are so eager to do so, then I have to ask why. And that question worries me. Do they want to bring it down, and do they want to do it for our good, or do they want to bring it down for the benefit of something like that Great Eye or some other faction that we are not aware of? I don't have the answer to this, but I feel as though the answer is not as obvious as, well, it would be lovely to say everyone is performing in exactly the way that they seem to be for exactly the reasons and motives that they would seem to be. The Circle of Embers has protected us and husbanded our progression as a small group of people throughout this sector for generations, and have literally had their hands on each generation to manage the people that we have in our communities. So of course this is for our benefit, even if it is possibly dangerous. They're assuming that it is for our good, and that's why they're doing it. Or they're trying to sabotage it, also for our good. They would assume.
Well, all I know is they were really concerned with the future. Everything that I kept hearing, and that's why they were so obsessed with the abilities that I had to glimpse the future, such as it is that they were just obsessed with the future. And I don't know if they had some sort of prophecy from someone else. I never heard reference to a specific prophecy, but I know that the heads of the organization were extremely concerned with, quote unquote, the future.
I can't imagine. I'm sure a conspiracy theorist could sit there, some probably have, and sat there and said that can imagine a situation where they have husbanded all the generations of our communities forward to make sure that there is a sufficient smorgasbord for whatever unbelievable entities might come through and scoop us all up like some sort of buffet. But that disagrees with me. It seems too complicated. And if I were some great powerful entity, I don't need to be kept and fed like livestock. I can't imagine that they're in cahoots with some being from beyond, but that does not mean they're necessarily working to our best interest or
sharing all the information that they have.
Well, I hardly am. As much as I might think that they are not trying to take us all down in some sort of great sacrifice to a horrible entity, I also don't think that they have ever in their history told anyone everything that they know or believe.
Lurker.
Hello, lurker. I think she can help you with that because of the other thing. You should have portal. Portal is essential. I mean, honestly, it's. Why don't you want to have a Steam family? You're rejecting me? All right. Also, just buy portal. That's the thing she can fix. Everyone should have portal. Honestly, it's a failure of parenting that she doesn't have portal.
Well, Portal 2 is better for multiplayer, but
Sure, but she hasn't played Portal, and I feel like I mean, as cool as Portal 2 is, and I have had a great number of belly laughs with the foolishness that you can get up to in Portal 2. I feel as
yes,
though Portal 1 is a
it
critical.
is a rite of passage for all people who have ever played a game
Yeah,
entirely.
you got to play a little Portal. Anyway, sorry. Uh,
And you have to become like Connor did, obsessed with Portal speedrunning, and do that for
I
a
don't know if
year.
that part's necessary, but I mean, sure, sure. All right, so obsessed with the future. We'll assume not immediately attempting to feed all of humanity to some creature from the great beyond, because honestly, uh, if that were the case, it's a greater problem than I feel like taking on at the moment. Uh, so we'll assume at least that much. Certainly have not shared everything that they might share with us.
Well, my question is the creature that we glimpsed through the scars here, is it between us and Cobalt Reach? Is it has it already eaten Cobalt Reach? Is there anything left, or is it in some other part of the universe or another dimension or something? Or
I wonder.
because if we suddenly break through the balefire as we've been trying to do, and we're on our choo-choo train to Cobalt Reach, and all we've done is throw ourselves into that creature's dinner bell, I don't
Uh,
know if that's going to be very helpful.
I am not generally given to philosophical ruminations or metaphysical, for that matter. But let us suppose a few things. One, that the balefire is actually in some way inhibiting this creature.
Mm-hmm. It seems likely.
All right. It exists in another dimension entirely, whatever dimension it is that we sail through when we take an eidolon drift from one point to another.
Hmm.
And yet the balefire affects it. Not just to come here, but it also appears to be, I say it as though it were singular, but it may not be. Uh,
Yeah.
it also affects it, but uh, if if I were a hunting creature that required sustenance, and I found a pen of creatures that would provide that sustenance, but I was utterly unable to reach them for generations, I'd probably move on, had I the means to do so. The fence does not contain me. I can simply leave, look for greener pastures, and therefore am not looking in through the windows as we have seen. However, this creature is, and I can only assume from that it is likewise contained in some way on its side to our environs.
Hmm.
Therefore, we are not only trapped where we are, it is also trapped. Now, we have seen that some folks have been able to slip through, but we are tiny creatures, insubstantial, inconsequential compared to the vastness of these things that we've sensed on the other side. So perhaps we're able to go in through the holes in the chain link to a degree that they're not. Not without harm,
So you
certainly.
think it's just a prisoner in an adjacent cell, and not necessarily the jailer standing outside the prison?
I believe that that is the case. Yes, we've been trapped here. So okay, lore thing. Was the balefire here when we got here?
There was balefire here when we got here, but it was not either as big or as pervasive until like basically an event happened that cut us off from Cobalt Reach, when the balefire essentially significantly increased in size, potency, coverage, etc.
And that was a couple. It was certainly several. It was long enough ago
Multiple
that,
generations ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
multiple generations ago. Huh.
And so I mean, I've been thinking that the balefire is some remnant of war between various precursor civilizations, right?
Yeah, and I'm entirely on board with that. Like radiate background. What?
Because we know that the precursor there was multiple factions, they did not get along, there was multiple wars of various kinds, and there was some level of extinction event for all of the precursors.
Yeah, possibly multiple extension events in different places. I was
Correct.
going back to our look,
And it doesn't mean that they're all gone, it just means they're no longer anywhere around here.
and I was going
Wherever
back
here.
to our system truths to look at what had wiped us out back in the Milky Way, and that was like a science experiment. We suspected it was a science experiment gone awry that extinguished stars in our home galaxy. Um, the
So it could be
galaxy,
like Project Hail Mary, where there was a
yeah,
sun-eating bacteria or
yeah,
something.
the galaxy your people left behind is a cold, lightless grave, but a solitary star still glows, a beacon in the vast darkness. How did this star survive the plague? Why do you vow to find the means to travel across the immeasurable gulf to this? That's one of the possible questions. I don't know that that seems connected. So a lot of this seems to be like sort of a lot. What we're dealing with right now is precursor remnants. Um, are we? We're very meta versus not meta in this conversation, and that's fine. Do we want to know at a meta level whether this was an intentional thing or like a just the nuclear winter fallout from a thing or some mix of both? Do we want to
Yeah,
know
I
that
think
at a
it would
meta
be
level?
interesting to see one question that I think we probably need to answer. The rest of it we can maybe stumble upon. But
Yeah.
one question is my writer directly responsible, or his people directly responsible for this, or are they victims of it? I think that would be
Or
an
are they
interesting
not
thing.
even were they not even part of that particular thing even?
Right. Are they just, collateral damage from a war between two other precursor civilizations?
I think it is unlikely. I think it's unlikely that are responsible for the Balefire. Well, I guess it kind of boils down to how many factions are there.
Yeah, I was thinking there was at least a half dozen major factions, although, as usual, not all of them may have been as warlike as others.
I think the chance that your precursor has something that is very closely connected to the technology of the star map, very high.
Right.
Just because they both came from pearls on that world. And I
In
have
that
to
same
think that,
world, yeah.
yeah, I think Sirocco, I think the fact that you picked them up in a pearl on Sirocco and then you continued to do pearl diving on Sirocco is probably not a coincidence and probably not entirely your choice. Like, I think that there was definitely some internal nudging about, no, go back, keep digging, do another
Right.
one.
No. Yeah. We've got to find it or whatever, and maybe it
Yeah,
was the map.
yeah. or just we have to find more. What do you're the one with the thing though, so what do you think the odds are that this has anything to do with that
No, I
they're
agree. The symbiote's very highly connected to the map. I think it's more likely that the symbiote's civilization was a victim of, of whatever war this was that caused the Balefire and kind of this sundering to happen.
it's more
And
likely that it's more likely that they're a what? A
a
victim, you said?
victim of it, right? Like a bystander.
Okay, so
But
I think we're
they
saying
had maybe sort of like created a vault or something to protect themselves from literal fallout of what was going to happen, and
so
that
more
vault is
likely that
what
they're
they're
a
trying to
victim,
find.
so unlikely that they're the cause.
Right.
Okay. Shall we roll? You want to roll?
Yeah, let's roll.
So it's under moves, fate moves, and then you would click on the unlikely under Ask the Oracle. No,
Okay.
they're not responsible for it. So I like
Responsible
it.
does not mean not involved, but it does mean that they were not the
They weren't necessarily the ones that enacted the Balefire or as a result of that thing. And
right.
Balefire, for all we know, Balefire could just be the background count off of everything that the precursors use. I don't think that the Balefire is strictly speaking. Okay. So
I
precursor,
very much think it's literally energy wreckage,
yeah,
right?
there
Energy
is
based
a
wreckage.
yeah, there is a lot of precursor vault stuff in our sector.
Yes.
Um,
Part of the reason that we ended up going there.
yeah, and so the question is there just a lot of precursor vault stuff? I'm going to say there's probably a lot of precursor stuff around lots of places. I think we touch and fiddle with it a lot more than other places. Are we getting away with that because of the Balefire? Is partly being like sort of cordoned off a little bit and blocked off from this. We get to other places and they're like, oh no, you never touch that stuff. It's like immediate like mutation city, like even to touch like
Yeah, no, like I said, there's something, and it's probably Balefire related, that is changing us to be more compatible with precursor stuff.
so it's not that it's shielding us, it's that we're becoming more gener mm,
It's what we might call epigenetics,
so we need
right? It's
to
not
yeah,
just between generations, but it also changes people during their lives.
sure. Um okay, I gotta figure out a way to get this to a diegetic. I need to get this. Wait, diegetic? Am I saying that right? When the music
Yes.
is part of the, yeah. I need to get this
Yeah.
meta talk back into the actual thing because I just had a really good idea that I need that I need Quentin to have instead of me. Um
Right.
okay. Um all right. So we assume for that at least the Circle of Embers believes that they're doing what's best for our community. We're going to assume that for the sake of argument.
Right.
We've been here and they have shaped us generation upon generation. The only real counter to that, largely speaking, being the Ironborn themselves, who have remained largely the same organization for generations, for the same generations to protect and serve the community, but still made up of the same people that they themselves that the circle themselves have been steering.
Right.
If that's the
But what
case, then
about the
if
what
that's the
about their
case,
obsession with the future? I mean, you said that they were trying to look out for our best case, but are they looking out for our best interests of the now or of some far future?
well, I think they're steering us in a direction that they believe is going to be the most beneficial. Uh, may, uh, maybe they believe that generation by generation, we can survive the balefire and finally free ourselves of this area. Maybe they believe that generation by generation we're more able to deal with the difficulties of our own. We all love the Golden Oasis. Certainly, this sector is our home, but let's be realistic. This is one of the most. I mean, space never cooperates, but the Golden Oasis has taken it to a level, a somewhat unprecedented level of unpleasantness. Maybe uh, our aggressive adoption of precursor artifacts as we discover them is something that has been aided by, oh Lord, is it possible that the circle's entire intent is to create a greater capacity amongst our people to be able to cope with the strangeness of precursor artifacts?
Well, if you take under advisement the fact that they very much believed that there was never a chance that we would ever return to Cobalt Reach, then that would make sense as the longest term way for us to survive would be to be able to make use of the precursor artifacts and civilizations that were all around us. And if we were leaving this place and going back, there's a chance that their plans could get undone, I suppose.
Certainly, I'll grant you that. Certainly true. With that said, what? Well, I mean, we will. I'm familiar enough with uh, artifacts that have been incorporated into ships and whatnot, but it's not as though we've suddenly become more physically capable of having precursor
But
technology
no,
or
we
abilities.
have. I mean, there are all those cults that can take these artifacts and are using them as like implants.
But
Remember
have
the
you
leader
ever
of that one
encountered?
cult got like one
Certainly,
in their eye and everything. Like we are far more compatible with precursor artifacts than anyone has ever imagined.
I I'm bothered by this. I will confess by the simple fact of the matter that I hold here and perhaps myself have shown a certain predilection for abilities or tendency toward abilities that one might consider uncanny. And
Right.
uh,
But
I
the
don't think of my.
Ironsworn existed before we came to this sector, right?
Oh yes, we existed before we arrived in the forge.
Right.
The origins of that being during our great voyage.
So what
But
I'm trying to say is that this is not a change of night to day, but a harnessing of something that was latent within at least some of our population already, but not necessarily under the rules of the Ironsworn.
your assertion is our theory then is that the motives of the Ember Circle are to shape humanity to be able to fully grasp the tools that have been left behind by the precursors.
Yes, I believe that is a classic. Take their current mission and draw a line into the future as far as you can, and I could easily see how they could get there. And Cole says, "Well, yeah, with their obsession with the far future and aiming for the longest outcomes, it makes a lot of sense." And like you said, Quentin, they don't have to be evil or not looking out. They just have to have a very long-term mindset, which sometimes seems very mysterious.
I'm gonna do a thing here. Are you? I have a question. Do you have crickets going?
I have crickets outside my window, and I have my window open.
That's
They're
amazing.
hardcore because they're
Yeah,
tree. The crickets that make that sound are tree crickets, and literally the tree is directly outside my window.
that's wild. I've never heard them to the point where they're like
Well,
being picked
especially
up
on
on.
this mic, I'd be surprised that you'd hear them. But yeah, they're
They're
hardcore.
really to the point where I was like thinking they were here because I
Yeah.
have an open like thing. I'm like, am I hearing them? Where am I hearing them? All right, I'm gonna do gather information, but I'm gonna do the advanced option. I'm gonna do a X. What am I doing here?
The
Roll
best part is
three
those tree
challenges.
crickets. There's a direct correlation between the speed of their chirping and the outside temperature, so you can like literally measure it within a degree with the lookup chart.
Really, that's
Yeah.
wild. Okay, so I'm gonna roll gather information, but I'm rolling it with 3 challenge dice, and if um, choose 2 unless they match. If they match, I have to choose those values. Oh, they don't match. Ooh. Oh, I am definitely taking the 3 and the 2. How do I do this? Okay, I want to take the 3 and the 2. Discover something helpful and specific. The path you must follow or action you must take to make progress. Make clear. Envision what you learn. And take +1, which I don't need. Okay. So this is me. I'm working on this progress thing for discover the Ember Circle's motives. So
Ah,
our theory here is that the Ember Circle has been steering humanity to be able to more readily work with precursor tech.
right.
I think someone like Cole or myself are sort of side effects of that, somewhat, in that, humanity is being modified. I don't know that there's anything directly with precursor tech that like we can point at and say, this is because you have this thing that you carry around or anything like that. But in any case, humanity has been evolved, so we've been affected by precursor
Sure,
stuff.
but they're
Oh,
taking the strain. I think the key is they're taking the strain of people that were the
already,
Ironsworn, and they're basically using
yeah,
that plus precursor and balefire to spread that out amongst everyone.
basically people who are already latently kooky.
Yes, exactly. Or
The
latently
kook, the
spooky. Yeah, I
kooky,
like
the
it.
kooky strand of DNA, and they have
Yeah,
intensified the kookiness. Um, what I'm looking for in this big conclusion thing here is what then, what does that mean for what they're really doing with regards to the balefire going down? Are they involving themselves in every one of these steps to spike the wheels, or are they involving themselves in every step so they can control? Why are they so in? I mean, first of all, they're too closely involved in the progression of the community that's within the Golden Oasis to not be involved in something so momentous. That's a done deal. But
I
why
think they're
are they doing
scared
it to
that if
stop
we
it?
end up being the Cobalt Reach, that they will discover what they have been doing. Someone will find out what they've been doing and may not like it. And in fact, there may be negative consequences like now we can't survive in Cobalt Reach because we've been so heavily modified without even knowing it. Or
Or we're going to be like pariahs or something like that because they're like, you freaks, something
yeah,
like that.
exactly.
In any case, they just want to be
Because they've been
there.
suppressing knowledge of what people were like in Cobalt Reach in our own history. So people literally don't know how different we now are. That would be very interesting.
That would be really interesting and really wild. I'm not saying no to that at all. I think that would be really wild to find out, but it would also be, I mean, if we're being made stronger, I don't think it's probably a we can't even survive over there thing, but if we are really legitimately like, maybe they don't know either. Maybe they're just
Sure.
like, we need to be on the
Yeah.
front of this because we got to be able to control the message, but it's mostly about the
I
fact
think
that
that's number one for sure. But I would not be surprised if they had all these records because they're again keeping all the records of births and deaths and everything, right? They could have records of what people from Cobalt Reach were like that there have been questions. And I think this is the classic sci-fi story, which is told from the person with three eyes perspective, but they don't know they have three eyes kind of thing.
yeah, you get through the entire short story and realize that there were bugs all along.
Yeah, exactly.
The POV character was a bug all along.
Right.
That would be weird. I feel like we would know that. I
Yeah, I
think
don't
I
think
would
it's
know it
that
was a bug.
extreme,
No.
but I think it's something maybe pretty significant. Um,
See, the thing is, we do this as a storyline thing, and then the next group that we play, we do from the point of view of somebody over in
Cobalt Reach,
Cobalt Reach, and we have to pick the game where it's like the most mundane, like no, absolutely no special abilities whatsoever,
Right,
um,
right.
except
Just
for the
just
tech.
hotshot
Yeah,
pilot and
yeah,
you know.
yeah. So, and these guys come through with like freaking force abilities, and they're like, holy shit, they're
Yeah,
maybe,
exactly.
maybe, maybe. Okay, I'm going to roll to conclude this discover the Ember Circles motive thing, just because I'm a big selfish git. I want to see if I've nailed this thing
Yeah,
down.
let's get some experience.
When you reach the end
I
of
would
your
really like to
quest,
have some discoveries, to be honest.
yeah, me too. That's why I was so. Ooh, oh, look at that with a
Oh,
match. Fulfill your vow. Discover the Ember Circle's motives. On the strong hit, your vow is fulfilled. Mark a reward on your quest legacy track. For the vow's rank, it was difficult, so or dangerous rather. That's 2 ticks. Any allies who shared this vow also mark the reward. Okay. Um, legacy track. 2 ticks on the quest. Oh, look at that. Oh, that does get me some. Gives me 2. I would really like some discoveries too. Okay. Hang on then. Gather information. Let me look back at my because that was a match. I have a
yeah.
thing here, Sleuth. When you swear an iron vow to solve a murder disappearance, gather information. On the miss with a match. No, that's not that. What did we do for a match? I'm also sharing this thing live, so people get to see us scratching our head and staring at the ceiling while we try to figure this stuff out instead of the edited down version. Not that there's random folks looking, but uh, okay. So what I'm thinking is, if we've got a match and it's like resolving this mystery type of thing, maybe there is a discovery here. Hang on. Don't we have a make a discovery thing? Let's look at the make a discovery move. When your exploration of a waypoint uncovers something wondrous, roll on the table below. Choose one. Then envision the nature of the discovery, how it's revealed. When you first experience or engage with the discovery, you and your allies may mark 2 ticks on your discovery's legacy track. I'm looking at the actual table here. This is under exploration moves, make a discovery, and if you like halfway down through it, you can open up and look at make a discovery table just to look at the stuff.
I am looking.
New understanding of an enduring mystery is one
I
of the
feel like
entries
that's
there.
what just happened.
Pathway or means of travel to a distant location. Person or life form with phenomenal abilities, place of awe-inspiring beauty, or valuable resource, visions of prophecies of the future.
We also could have something that has appeared on the map now that it's connected to the ship. Since I did a
Ooh,
hit with a match when we flew, clearly my wiring was successful.
yeah.
Probably
So
guided by my symbiote.
in that case, oh, you did get a hit with match on. I forgot about that. I'm going to advance the vow of finally fix the sector. Okay. New understanding of an enduring mystery, and we have a shared thing for. Oh, shared sheet. Where's our shared sheet? I think that would advance. So here's what I think. All right. Hover your finger over the X card.
Oh no, here we go again.
All right. Hover your finger over this for a different reason. Different reason than last time. What? I'll tell you what I think. What I think is that the circle has seen they have waited. Oh, can we have Cole do this?
Yeah. Go for it.
They were waiting. No. They were waiting for the veil to drop. They've got, oh my God, they've got freaking nursery rhymes about this. They've been waiting for the veil to drop. The veil to drop is like the flag dropping on a race. That was the signal that we were ready to go out. And they want to be on the prow of the ships to go, but that was the sign that we had gotten to the point where we were ready to survive. Beyond that, that's what they have always believed, is that they were getting us all ready. Oh my God, it all kind of goes together. It's just that crazy. They think they've been getting us ready, and now the sign is go. And as she says that is when the map changes, and there's like basically an indication on the map of like which scar to use.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It finally goes from being sort of like, here's 5 possible ways to like the
It
Apple
all
Maps
kind of like
notification of like
it
this is
does
the
a
one.
little the sand table build up thing, and like this is the little arrow.
Right.
Little Bugs Bunny arrow pointing at beep beep. No, I'm kidding. But
Yeah, I like that
yeah,
it just becomes incredibly sharply in focus in a way that like I like your sand table idea of that it's like 3D and it's coming up off the map,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that
yeah.
there was like all these different exits, and then suddenly one of them is just like perfectly sharp and crisp in a way that hadn't been before.
Okay.
And I
So
look over and I said, well, that looks like a sign.
okay. So let's advance this one too.
Can we advance my discoveries too, or?
I think yeah, I haven't done discoveries yet, but over in legacies, give yourself 2 ticks in discoveries. Which what does that do for you?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how this figures for XP.
Did you do the little arrow? Yeah. Okay. So did you hit the little arrow to move it up?
Yeah.
Okay. So you see how there's 2 boxes there underneath?
Underneath it, yeah.
Yeah, those are XP that you have not yet spent.
Ah, well, there's 2 boxes there, yeah. So I
Yep.
guess I got 2 XP.
So you had the 2 that you have 2 from your bonds and 2 from your discoveries already, and those were used on the second ability under Gearhead and the second ability under Symbiote.
Right.
Okay. And now you have 2 more, so you could get another ability under the assets you already have, or you could bank it until you get another 2, and you can use, if you have 3, you can buy an entirely new asset.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll wait for a new asset at this point. But yes, got it.
Yeah. I have my legacy. Wait, I'm gonna close me. I haven't because I've had 2 from bonds that I've been sitting on thanks to Cole, and I have 2 from the discoveries that I just got. So I've theoretically got enough to get, which is fine because I only have the 1 advance and you've done. So yeah, I think that there are 2 possibilities. One is that we have hit upon it, and our connection and your connection to this map that you've been attempting to suss out the nature of has shown us a way forward. And if you have a mark on, I think you should mark decipher the precursor star map too. Might as well. Then this clearly is the direction to go. Or it's an elaborate trap laid by whatever is steering our fate, and we are about to jump straight into the maw of the Leviathan itself. Let's hope it isn't the second one. Tinker, whenever you're ready, I think we should move forward. Let's.
All right. And you see me do something you've never seen before, which is I go over to the map and I put my hand on the map in that spot that is one of the scars, and I just kind of close my eyes and the ship starts moving.
Ooh. I have got, because this is, I'm wondering how clueless Quentin has been about all of this. I don't think he's entirely clueless, but this is certainly the most overt you've been about the fact that you are not all normal.
Right.
I'm going to psychically steer the ship. So this one I am recording, but I also flipped on streaming because it's connected to my same YouTube channel. And I didn't tell anybody, but there's some people that watch. And one of the folks that's always commented on most of my games, Dingoes, hi Dingoes, just said that the crickets kind of work is just an alarm that's happening back in the engineering section that we're just ignoring while we're having this conversation. It's like, no, it's just, that's one of those, I haven't been able to find which smoke alarm that is, and I'm just ignore it. It's fine.
Yeah, well, the
Uh,
ship has, been beat to heck and only mildly fixed,
oh
and
yeah, the fact that there
far,
isn't,
several
there
of the
should always
fixes have made it
probably be
worse.
an alarm going off from
Yeah.
this thing. 100%. Okay. So yeah, the exploration move should be undertake an expedition. I think because Cole did, we're giving ourselves a whole lot of boost here from this one match, but I think since Cole, this hit with a match, but since Cole was the one who gave us the revelation, get to the right word eventually. I
Yep.
think you roll wits with her help. So a +2. Ooh, it's a
Good.
6. I'd love that.
That looks
You'd
good.
hit it anyway. That was as good as you can get. On a strong hit, you reach a waypoint, envision the location, mark progress per the rank of the expedition. Okay, so we are getting to the Cobalt Reach. So our chart a new route to Cobalt Reach. Get to Cobalt Reach. All right. Man. Let me just look at this thing here as we do our, we say it was a couple of hours of jumping.
Yeah. I went ahead and between the two rolls, the last miss with or hit with a match and this strong hit, I have marked 2 progress on Master of the Symbiote, which is epic. So it's a long way to go on that.
Yeah, mastering the symbiote takes a lot. My epic thing has got 2 marks in it
Yeah.
for um cipher the precursor star map. Wow, see the symbiote through the sea of stars. Well, I think you can mark progress on see the symbiote through the sea of stars, certainly.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's where we are right now. We have chart the new route to Cobalt Reach is at 10 out of 10 on that shared vow.
Mm.
We have progress on get to Cobalt Reach up to 8 of 10.
Mm.
This is the second time we've had it at 8 of 10.
Yes. Second time. Last time we ended up having to get thrown back across the galaxy.
We did it the hard way last time. Okay. So let's do a little bit of oracling for where we came through. So space encounter. We're in the Outlands. Large rogue asteroid. Hang on for a second. I'm curious about something. Um, oh, nope. Okay. Okay. I think this is where we roll to see whether or not we made it to the other side. Whether we roll to conclude those two
Okay.
things. And
Seems like the right time.
if we fail, because I just rolled Tainted World stuff.
Sludge-filled river networks.
Well, that would be some of this we would ignore, but some of the initial entries we could say if we fail that what the map sent us to was Capella Paradox.
Ooh.
Like we thought we were jumping through and we ended, and the whole thing just routed us to Capella.
Sure.
If we make it, then we read the whole bloody thing out, and we're actually on a planet over.
Right. Now, because my thought is that the symbiote really wants to go to a place where it thinks its people might have holed up. And
well, there is a that works either way, because there is a precursor thing on Capella. Remember, because it's got that weird resonance thing that goes back and forth.
Right. So it could be either way. We'll find out, I guess.
Either way. Do you want to roll
its goal
for this?
Is definitely to try to find the remains of its people.
Yeah. Do you want to roll for the get to Cobalt Reach thing? Or should you want me to click on it? All right, you go. That's in the shared sheet. Get to Cobalt Reach. There's no bonuses. It's just we roll 2d10 and see if we can beat if we roll under the 8.
And we don't want to wait anymore. Okay.
I mean,
we go.
I think we go. I think we go.
Whoops, wrong button.
Yep.
I gotta uncook it now.
Edit it. There, I got it. And saving that. Wait. No, now we're at. Wait, marking progress once. It's at 8 now.
We're back. So hit the little. Okay, hitting the right button now.
Roll the dice. I'm terrified.
Hey, that looks good.
Double 4s.
Yeah.
Love that.
Of course, the 3D dice hung on 9 for quite a while there, so that was a little bit spicy, but
it was a little bit scary. Okay, so this is good actually. So this is okay. Hang on.
So I believe we have crossed the boundary of the balefire outside of our sector, and we are somewhere on the other side towards Cobalt Reach. But
incidentally, plowing into the trail today and nearly cracking my ribs. This maneuver, enthusiastic, this terrible idea. Holy shit, that hurt. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, but let's go. Hang on. Gotta pull us over to the side here. We need our little moves. We need our moves thing, because there's a whole thing that happens right there. And I think the fact that we actually got the match, finish an expedition. When your expedition comes out at the end, roll the challenge dice and compare your progress. On a strong hit, you reach your destination or complete your survey. Mark a reward on your Discovery's legacy track per the expedition's rank. So, okay, so we get an entire box.
Understand the true nature or cost of the expedition.
We get an entire box under Discoveries.
An entire box under Discoveries.
So if you have, in my case, I have 1/ in box 2. So I'm going to advance. So you basically hit the arrow 4 times.
Wow! Now I have 4 XP.
Yes. The thing is, we've had these really good payoff things that we just haven't been able to finish. Yes. We have piles of XP waiting if we could just seal the deal.
Yes.
Okay. Any allies who shared this expedition also mark their reward. You did that. Roll both challenge dice, take the lowest value, and clear that. Okay. Okay. So it does. I thought it had something for a match. My inclination is there's 2 different ways we could go with this. We could make a discovery, or we could give ourselves a progress on. Well, no, that's already maxed out. That wouldn't do any good. We can't progress, chart a new route to Cobalt Reach
Because we have done it.
because we've maxed it out to 10. That's a different thing to
Yeah.
roll. So I'm going to roll
Yeah.
that one now, which is actually charting a route. Because the thing is, trying to suss out an actual coherent route using the route that we did to make it like repeatable, that's going to require some reconstruction a little bit. But let's see what we got.
Well, not with my new map. I think just basically point you at it.
Oh, 7 and 4, so strong hit on that.
You got a 10.
Mark a reward on your quest legacy track. This one was dangerous, so we mark 2 ticks on quests. Did you just get a whole bunch of XP? Because
Yep.
you just got 2 more ticks on quests, and that gives you 2 more, right?
Correct. Yeah. So now I'm up to 6.
All right.
The power.
So the power. All right. So we're going to complete charting a route.
I have to get my document here.
We're going to complete getting to Cobalt Reach. Okay. I'm going to say that we're going to advance, reconnect to the Iron Sworn of Cobalt Reach because we're actually here now, finally.
Right.
That one is complete. I don't remember if I...
Oh, path.
Hang on, I need to look.
So I'm thinking.
One second here. I need to look at the log. Okay. When I do this, when I move this, all right, I'm gonna back that. Okay. I had okay, so our shoot. I'm gonna have to go. I don't remember if I marked XP for solving the mystery of the Ember Circle or if I just did
I
it.
don't think you did.
I can't remember. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the. I'm gonna have to go back and look and see if I actually gave myself XP for. If I gave, no, I think I did. I think I did because that gave me the. No, well, I can't remember. It doesn't matter. For right now, it doesn't matter. It was formidable though. That. Anyway, I legitimately can't remember. I'll have to go back and look at the video and see if I actually did it. It's okay. Got more than enough XP this week. Okay. So I'm going to advance. Finally,
So
fix
should I
these sections.
spend 3 XP to upgrade Cole to an official sidekick?
I could do that too, and it's probably more fair for me to do it.
Sure.
Because she's been more my thing.
Yeah. Other than last time when you X-carded me.
Well, I didn't X card you because you didn't X card it. See, here's the thing, and here's why I'm going to say it should be my deal. I'll tell you why. She's my daughter. That's been locked in. She accepts she's my daughter. What she is to you, big question mark so far. So
True.
I don't think you buy her as a sidekick because she's not locked in yet.
The experience point should be for what has happened, not what might happen.
Well, it's not even. Well, aside from that, is it lets the whole thing, whatever's going on with you two, continue to be a floating, random, undetermined, like numeric point.
Right.
It's still a wild card. Whereas with our thing, it's somewhat locked in. God, that's wild because I've got enough XP now to. Dingo says, Dad outranks guy who kissed her once. Technically, she kissed him. But
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Okay. How, you know what? This is actually a wild time to, okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into assets, and I'm going to go to companions. No, what is the thing that you get to do with this? Custom assets. I think I did it under custom assets. Yeah, I did. Cohort. Once you accept a connection as a crewmate, you gain a specialist. Yeah, this is the guy. So I pull this over here and I get cohort in theory, assuming it lets me do it. Come on, you can do it. Or it won't.
What are you trying to do where?
I'm trying to add the asset and it's being annoying about it. It's like it's acting like I can drag it over and drop it, but then it doesn't do anything when I do that. Let me see if I can do a normal one. Because the other thing I need to do, because I have 2 3s, and I'm going to do something a little crazy here, maybe. Do that. Close you, close you. This kind of feeds back into the whole,
Yeah, I'm not seeing an error, but yeah, it's the same thing. It's not. It won't actually do it.
is it a custom one or is it a, what are you doing?
Yeah, I tried putting the cohort on myself, and
Okay.
yeah, you're right. It drags, and it's clearly got the right drag target, but it doesn't actually do it. And there's no bug in the console, so
That is weird. What I was, okay. Of course, both of these things are things that I'm like, are customs, but they're not custom. They're brought in from Shattered or Sundered Isles, which is the expansion thing
yeah.
for.
So for what it's worth, I brought over like bonded,
Yeah,
and
and it worked.
it came over fine. So it must be
Okay.
something about the custom ones.
I wonder.
Of course, now I can't figure out how to get rid of it.
You can't see what?
Now I can't get rid of this bonded one, but
Oh, you edit it and then you can delete it, I think.
that's what I thought. Yet.
Okay. This is the boring stuff I usually cut. You know what's going to be weird? I'm not going to be able to do the automatic editing like I usually do to cut out the silence because of the crickets.
No.
I think it's gonna read it's gonna read his stuff I have to cut.
Oh,
Which
that's
is
terrible.
it's
I would feel bad, but it's finally cool enough that I can have the window open. So I was like,
no,
oh
it's
yeah.
fine. Go right ahead. It's fine. Yeah, I don't know why it won't let me pull it back over. Like you say, it does act like it should. So what am I
Is it
doing?
the Starforged Customs Compendiums? Is that the module that has them in it?
Let me look. No, it isn't. It should be compendium pack. It should be under Sundered Isles rulebook, Sundered Isles assets,
Well, okay, so that's the compendium, but I need to know what module it's in so I can look at the code.
Okay. What
Foundry
module?
dash Iron Sworn is where it comes from.
Okay.
I can look at that.
I wonder if I can drag it straight from.
Because now I'm involved because I can't get rid of this bonded thing.
Well, bonded you should be able to get rid of though, because bonded's a normal.
Yes.
I don't think there's that. Let me see if I can find cohort. I want to see if I can drag it straight from. Okay. I was able to drag it from the Sundered Isles assets thing, and then it let me do it.
So maybe it's just that.
The way I did it in the items, I guess, or something. Did I put it in items? I must have put it. Yeah, I did.
I'm guessing that the assets shortcut that is under the thing, which is what I was using, it must go to somewhere different.
Okay. So, gain a specialist. They are part of your crew, but it's tracked as a connection and provides benefits to you and your allies per their role. When you withstand damage and score a miss, or if you pay the price, you may suffer the cost by noting the specialist is out of action and out of action. We've been doing this anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Provides no benefit to restore a specialist to do resolve the situation as appropriate to the nature of the injury, trauma, or dispute. Basically, it's just the thing that lets us do what we've been doing.
Right.
Retroactively paying the price for that. Okay. You said you had. Let me look at your sheet. Assets. Bonded isn't normal, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
All right. Oh, that is weird. Because bonded isn't. That is weird. Now it won't let you get rid of it.
Right. So I've got Claude on the case, just looking through the code, try to figure out how to get rid of it so we can move on since your thing is fixed.
Well, yeah, I've got to figure out the other thing I was going to do though, so it's fine. So that was that a deed then under?
Correct. It's a deed type asset.
Well,
from
that what's weird though is that that's not. Yeah, something got screwed up because that I'll say again, that bonded that you drug over is not a. Something's weird because if you click on edit your envoy,
well,
I guess you still can't delete it, but
no, there's no delete on any of these, and usually that means that you drag it off is the deal, right? So they're building it as an item type, and so you can just drag it off of your sheet and onto the map or something.
yeah, what's weird though is when you click on edit for bonded, the whole display is different, and it's not a weird one that I pulled in from.
Yeah.
That one's not a weird one that I pulled in from someplace else. That's one that's part of the game. So let me look here on your sheet.
The toggle lives in the Windows header controls. I'm like, what?
Oh, I see it. If you click on the snowman icon for Kiri, up at the top, toggle controls, click on edit, and it changes those assets to have a trash can. and you can get
Oh,
rid of
I see
bonded.
it. Got it. Yep, that's the same thing Claude just told me. All right. Yep, got it. All right.
And then
Hooray.
you hit edit again, and the trash can goes away.
That's very strange.
It still doesn't really explain the thing with the other deal, but it does explain.
My guess is that when you click on assets, that compendium link, it's a window that is basically linking to compendiums, and my guess is that there's a link in there that's just broken.
Yeah. Whereas if I open up the actual Sundial's assets,
Yeah.
and then I go to the thing I want and I drag it over, that works.
Yeah. So I think this is just a pathing problem with that shortcut assets window.
So I'm looking, I want to look one more time at the thing I was looking at actually picking up. Because I thought this was.
All right. So now I'm looking at the other. I guess I could look at all the ones from, because you've got all these custom ones too.
Well, what are you thinking?
Navigator. That was intriguing with the map stuff. I thought that would be interesting because there's a lot of navigation roles that we've whiffed, so having some bonuses there would be good.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about sorcerer, but do it as like, base sorcerer. But I don't know if that's going to
Yeah.
actually get me. It's not really what I'm. Necromancer. Or
Sure.
that'll be. That'll be.
I mean, do you have sleuth? I can't remember.
I do have
Do you
sleuth.
already have sleuth?
I do
Yeah.
have sleuth. I need to look at the ones I currently have. Okay. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong sheet here.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything that's like repair or whatever related.
When you
You
make a
already have them, right?
what's that? I picked up
You
companion,
already have them.
or I picked up cohort rather, or rather, did I? Yeah, I did. What can I do with? Okay, so I've got that gives me 3 points still left. When you secure, so here's another thing I could do with the cohort if I wanted to. When you secure an advantage by gathering together your specialists to strategize or problem solve, you can re-roll one die for every participating specialist that's currently in the discussion.
There you go. That's a huge difference from what we have been doing.
Yeah, that would be a big buy. Under sleuth, when you make a connection with a potential informant, you may, instead of rolling, take an automatic weak hit, or when you make a move to avoid detection, as you put a person or place under surveillance. I don't think either one of those. I like just vibe. The way the vibe check thing works for me is enough. I've got to do this. When you face danger, to soothe the being's distress by creating an empathic bond, roll plus spirit, and take +1 momentum if you get a hit. If they are an ally, you also give them +2 spirit on a hit. I've got to take that.
Well, I think we should make a custom module, which is like a ship add-on kind of module, or the map. I think that would be.
Oh, let me look at, that's a good, okay, wait a second then. Hang on a second, because I
Because like there's
think,
ones for like stealth tech and sensor array, so I think this is in the right spirit here.
yeah, let me look at something though, because I think, Bingos, I saw your question. I'm going to answer it. I can only do one thing at a time because my brain is stupid. So under item, compendium, under compendium pack, Sundered Isles, assets. Vehicle assets. Nope. Command vehicle assets. Nope.
Oh, there's like a map room.
Yeah, I was just gonna look and see if that was anything cool. When you secure an advantage or gather information by studying or preparing your maps before setting off on an expedition, re-roll any dice. On a hit, you
Oh,
may
actually,
also
this has the ability that I was trying to find somewhere else. When you hearten by working or studying your maps, roll wits instead of heart. That is what I need. That is what I need so bad.
I mean, you could get the map. You could get, so you have to buy the first one with the map room, but if you have 6 XP, you could get this and the other 2 points for the Hearten thing.
Yes, that is what's going to happen right now.
Okay, so you want to, so you want, hang on. I think this one may be weird because it may not let you put it on your actual character sheet. It may go on the
Yeah, it did.
ship. Oh, did it?
Yeah, it worked fine.
Oh, good. I'm going to put it on the ship too.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, that's not the ship. This is the ship. Fall of Icarus, not the name.
Yeah.
Map
So that
room.
cost me 5 XP, right?
That costs you 5 XP, correct. So when you secure an advantage or gather information by study or gather information by studying and preparing your maps before setting off on an expedition, reroll any dice.
Yes, this is what we need.
On any
This is
hit, you may
too
on
core,
a
really.
hit, you may also reroll any dice for the first leg of the journey as you undertake the expedition.
Hey, yes, we need it
Love
so
that.
bad.
We should have had this before we left. When you hearten by working on, I want to read this because I never thought this was before. When you hearten by working on or studying your maps in isolation, get out of here. I got to talk to the map. Roll wits instead of heart on a hit. Take +1 spirit or +1 momentum. On a match, you uncover a. Now, I want to make this clear. On a hit, take +1 spirit or +1 momentum. That's in addition to the hearten move.
Correct. Yeah, it's a bonus on the Harden.
Yeah.
That's why I said I must have this.
On a
My
match, you
spirit is
uncover.
full of Jack.
Yeah. You uncover a previously unnoticed aspect of the world to make a dreadful realization. Or make a dreadful realization. Envision what you find and mark 2 ticks on your discoveries. Oh, geez, this is if you get a hit with a match, it's like a discoveries XP fountain. He always says that, but it never really comes through.
Well, we've had
That's
2 matches
great.
this time. Not gonna.
What a great find. Love that. I love that came in from
call.
yeah.
Came in from the pirate.
That's kind of crazy. That's exactly what you needed for that thing too.
It is. Yeah, it was just like, so perfect.
So this is not Roll20. This is the Foundry. So unlike Roll20, it runs locally. It runs on one of my machines over here as it runs a server thing and hosts everything, and then you can just plug in a bunch of modules to make work. I'm just explaining to dingoes. They asked.
Oh, okay.
What finally pushed me out, and the other thing that's nice about it with Roll20, I was paying for a subscription that was like recurring every year, and I was struggling with quite a bit of stuff. And when I ran the Daggerheart game,
finger to
yeah,
Roll20.
I really hate subscription models. There's places where it's like it's a small guy and he needs to continue to make money year to year, fine. But subscription models for big organizations and stuff just make me want to puke a little bit. But the Foundry is great, $50, and you bought it and it's done and it just is there. There is definitely a knowledge thing that's necessary to make it all work, but it's doable. And then the support just gets better and better. When I was doing Daggerheart with the kids, the Daggerheart connection to the Daggerheart Nexus stuff, or the D20 connection to the Daggerheart Nexus stuff was so slow. It was so like you would roll and like you could go and get a soda and come back, and it was really really bad. But we had to find something, and we tried out the Founder, and it was just like that. It worked perfect. And because of the way it's hosted, if you know how to set up your router, you can set up a little like gateway basically, so that like Tim can reach my server even though he's in the US and I'm up in Canada and all that kind of stuff. Or when I was at my other house. Like it's if you know where to look and you have the link, which you have to give to somebody, they can just get to it and it works as a remote thing, which is awesome. They just get into it as a browser window, and it works great. And depending on which game you're talking about, the code is really good.
Well, and if you're a developer like me, you end up deciding to make a module for yourself to play Dungeon Crawl Classics, and then supporting it for the last nearly 7 years.
Yeah.
For everyone else in the world.
One of the reasons that I am learning so much about the Foundry is that Tim already knows so much about the Foundry, so he can just look at stuff because he's been supporting Dungeon Crawl Classics for,
yes, almost 7 years.
For the time of a first grade, it takes for a first grader to enter school. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, but yeah, it's pretty cool. They got mass. They've got modules. A lot of companies will do a module to support their game. Daggerheart actually did an interesting thing. I don't know if you saw this, but there's a very well supported thing called Foundryborn that is run for Daggerheart that was like an independent thing, and it's really, really well done, but they're only able to use the SRD content, not the stuff that's from like early release or that isn't part of the SRD, so they can't use any of the artwork or anything like that. And part of the thing was that the Critical Role guys, Darrington Press, were really in bed with Nexus, so they didn't do anything else. Well, they just finally, I guess they got through the first year or whatever, and they said, okay, hey, we're going to do stuff on other platforms. We're going to support the Foundry. What does this mean? We're going to do a new thing? No. Foundryborn is awesome. We're not doing anything with that. What we're going to do is release modules for Foundryborn. So Foundryborn just gets more support from us. You know, you can buy the official content that isn't SRD stuff, but it's all going to be stuff that just is tested to run in Foundryborn, so you can just use it. Or you've got people like Tim who are supporting Dungeon Crawl Classics, or Stone Top just released, and it doesn't have, like, they're not officially doing a thing, but there's somebody who's absolutely a rabid fan of Stone Top and is, you know, keeping it completely up to date all the time, and has some other people who are working on that. So if you got a game with a good rabid player base, you can get some good tools for it. Neat. Anyway, sorry. I think occasionally a little bit of an ad campaign for the Foundry is kind of worth it, because it's honestly pretty damn cool. And I've got the whole thing.
I mean, as someone who's deep into it, I have my own, rages about the Foundry maintainers, of which I know far too much and have interacted far too often. But they try, and it's a hard job. So
yeah, I want to play Stone Top 2, Dangos, real bad. There is a certain, I can't remember the name of the movie or something like that. There was sort of some sort of like a documentary or something that came out a couple years ago that was sort of about the food industry or something like that. And Will Wheaton went to it with his son, and they got done with it and kind of came out, and it's a documentary about the food industry in the U.S., so it's not going to be a fun time.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
He turned to his son and was like, "It kind of makes you not want to eat meat." And his son looked at me and goes, "It kind of makes you not want to eat."
Yeah, exactly.
Like at all.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's kind of how I think it is behind the scenes of a lot of stuff. Is once you see how the sausage is made at any sausage factory, you kind of like, it's not a good deal. So
and that's happened to be enough times over my life that I just have to kind of be like, I'm just gonna compartmentalize.
The assumption when you start to step behind the curtain is like, it doesn't matter how good the production is. When you step behind the curtain, you're going to see some of the same bullshit that you've seen behind every other curtain. And you just kind of have to accept that. That's what, like, I'm taking on teaching thing, and people are like, yeah, I'm like, I just like hanging, I like working with kids, it's great. And they're like, yeah, but tell you what, man, there's stuff about that's not fun. I'm like, that's life. Like that, like everything has something behind it that's not fun. I've been working in corporate America for 30 years. There is not much that parents can show me about humanity that I have not seen in an HR department, because HR department is basically a bunch of bad parents with 10,000 kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a line in Midnight Burger, a couple, we're really burying the lead on this new Cobalt Reach that we've reached, but there's
Well,
a line.
we're not gonna we're gonna have to have a cliffhanger because I'm gonna be pumpkining here in about
Yeah,
15 minutes.
that's fine. There's a line in one of the more recent episodes of Sean and I just listened to it, that this is not spoilers, but because you've run into this before, but Leif, there's a lot of Leifs. You can run into a lot of Leifs.
Yes.
That
Old Leif,
his
even older Leif.
You can run into multiple of anybody, certainly, but you can run into like they really lean into running into multiple Leifs in season 5. Sometimes it's not like a stupid bit, but every so often you'll run into one. And there's one where he, like, Casper is giving him some advice, and the guy's like, Casper, as just as they're about to part ways, like, am I happy? And he just sort of chuckles, snorts a little bit. He goes, who's happy, man? You're better. You're doing better. But yeah, that kind of like, it's the same kind of thing. It's like, oh no, you go into this organization, you're going to see what they're really like behind the scenes. That's everybody. Behind the scenes is bad. All right, so let's do this momentous thing here. When you see the recorded version of this thing goes, you're going to see all this section cut out. Okay. Loading Cobalt Reach. Oh my goodness. Activate. Him is now on the Cobalt Reach. All right, we're finally not seeing. The thing is, we're still seeing the shifting clouds in the background, which makes me think.
Yeah. What does it make you think?
It just makes me think that there's still weird shit in the background.
Yes.
Okay, so we rolled. They say we. We rolled. Oh my God, there's so much stuff in the queue here. Get to Cobalt Reach. We got the Cobalt Reach. Planet Oracles. We got a Tainted World. We got a planet. So the first thing I did was I rolled in like a space encounter in the Outlands. But then I thought, wait a second, if we're jumping, so it's a rogue asteroid if we're in the Outlands, but we're in Terminus if we jump to Cobalt Reach. Cobalt Reach is now into the more highly populated core worlds, right? So the tables all change, right? So I rolled instead on the Terminus thing, and I got a planet. I got Tainted World. I got Overrun with Life. Corrosive Atmosphere. Sludge-filled river networks. Now, what I am seeing from this, just at a glance,
so we've gone from life in the Mayan jungle full of artifacts of ancient civilizations to the Cahoga River on fire in the 1970s.
Deep history cut. Like, yeah, the idea that this is like some cybernetic, like it's a cyberpunk, like completely industrialized, overpopulated planet where what isn't under asphalt is not good. I think so. Let me see if I can. I just want to drop a. Need a tile control thing here. Create. Get ourselves up high here somewhere. That's No, that's. I gotta find the. I gotta find the. Oh, choose a file. That'll be easier. There we go. RPG, sci-fi, Starforged, images, planet tokens, tainted. Ooh, which one do we want? We'll just select this file. Got to make that thing bigger though. Five, five. We want this to be. Oh, we need a name for this thing. Can you find the oracle for the planet names and give me a name
Yeah.
for a toxic planet?
Yes, I can. Hmm.
Are you picking one or rolling one?
Wow, I'm making a decision.
Okay, I accept that. Realizations trading.
Yes, it's a company planet.
So when we scan for like some sort of transmitter, some sort of what I'm looking for,
Beacon or whatever.
like
Yeah.
some sort of beacon, it's not giving us a planet name, it's giving us a corporate name instead of the planet name.
Correct.
Or we
Yes.
have to dig
Now the
down through.
corporation may be long defunct, and the whole place may be, you know, a wreckage, but it was essentially a corporate outpost called Realizations Trading.
Okay. Yeah, let me move it. There we go. And we're going to do a little drawing here.
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking. And
Line
there's
width.
a debris field around it that's full of mineral laden asteroids, which is what this place was doing.
We're going to. I got to. Oh, why is it like that? I don't want that either. Oh, Lordy. All right. And that's where we are. I need to put this ship on here. Oh, why did it? That's weird. That is so. Look at what it did when I drug the ship out there. It created it with a weird, completely different icon.
Castle like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So It's whatever the prototype token is set to is what it used. Is the ship an actor?
It is. Yeah, it is an actor. It's just weird that it
Follow
did
the
that.
Chris, not the name. Yep, that's the prototype token that was set for it. So that's why I did
Is
it.
there a way to change it?
Yep, I'll change it. Give me a minute.
All right. It's if you look at the direction, the file location for the actual picture that's in there.
Yeah,
It's in there.
that's what I'm doing.
The castle was just Dingo says the castle is just part of what the ship was originally made from. Just one of the 3 ships.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway. All right. Okay. We're over the toxic sludge river overrun industrial nightmare.
Yeah,
And when we
mineral asteroids.
And when we go to ping it to see what the so when we start next time, we get to generate the actual sector, which we didn't do before.
Yeah.
Because there's that whole data exchange thing, as we can start to pick up packets and stuff and get some idea of what's going on here. So this one's a lock. We just have to we definitely have this guy. And we get to see where the hell we are with all of this. What have we just stepped in? And also possibly, like, we'll have to, well, we definitely do this and then we figure out what we're doing next, because are we continuing with these guys or in this nonsense, or do we switch to something else, or?
Yeah. It's a good question.
There is an argument, given that we've created ourselves a cyberpunk type planet. There is a sci-fi game out there called The Veil.
Okay.
That is The Veil is essentially like the internet, but it's so all encompassing that it basically functions as like an alternate reality projection over everything. So you're interacting with it as much as you are the real world, because it overlays everything.
Postmodernism is, at its heart, a movement which rejects the notion of universal truths. That is a line from The Veil, apparently, reading this review.
Yeah, it's a really interesting. One of the things that I do like about it, though, is like one of the things is like you've got like an array of stats that you're rolling, but they're more like emotions, sort of like you roll with your, you roll with your stuff. You have a couple of sets. This is sort of a fate thing. Like if you have a couple of sets that you're good at, why wouldn't you just roll with those all the time? You essentially spike your stats when you use them in conflicts. So I'm really poorly representing it. They used some of this with Hearts of Wulin, which is this wuxia game that the guy who wrote that was inspired by The Veil, and he kind of rolled it into this thing with this wuxia fighting thing. It's very much emotional, like a lot of C drama or K drama stuff. But the way that, like, you didn't just have people constantly hitting the same thing over and over, because if you did that, like, you were really, really penalizing yourself in the long run, because you can't just keep feeling the same emotion over and over, man. It's not good for you. Literally,
welcome to soap operas.
Yeah, exactly. The Veil works a little bit differently, so that might be kind of an interesting thing. Or a bunch of other stuff. Or we keep doing these guys and deal with the culture shock of what we are. And
yeah, I'm torn only because we finally got XP and advanced so we could do stuff.
Yeah.
But it doesn't that can also be its own reward. I mean, there's been plenty of campaigns where I'm like, all right, I'm level 10, done.
I said this before, like
leave it behind. No.
one of the problems that we had with the game with the way we set it up is that we weren't running into the people that tend to require that you need to be able to do all the new quests and do the rinky dink ones, like the little quickies that only take like a little bit, relatively small amount of work. And as a result, then we should have probably gotten some XP sooner. But then we had that huge setback to put us back into the thing. And then when it all finally tumbled, holy shit. Now we're all caught up to kind of where we meant to be in the first place.
So I'm also thinking it would be super interesting to have, this, hollowed out corporate shell planet that is just full of basically all of the former employees of this place that were abandoned by the corporation when they left.
Yes.
And, they were not offered a ride off unless they could pay for one. And of course, most of them could not. And so this place has got its own very similar background to us, but is in the Cobalt Reef. And
Hear
to
me
have
out.
eventual interactions betwixt them.
Rather than switching to another RPG, we switched to a tabletop solution, and we just do an entire Necromunda camp.
Yeah, sure. There you go.
Yeah. We've jumped into Warhammer 40K. Fucking run. All right. Well, thank you, sir. That was very fruitful and also really interesting.
A lot of meta this time, but I think that was good because we had a lot of stuff.
We had a lot of big questions there, and we have a better idea. I'm really curious to see if we were the first ones to get over here too, and if no, what the hell happened with them? And if yes, what have the Circle been up to at this terrible place? Or did they even come here? They could have come someplace else.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, they didn't have to come out here. They could have come out in a
Well, if they'd come over the other, almost certainly we didn't come into the same place in the system because they had a different route, like an actual secure route out, relatively secure. So that's, so many questions. I have things to ponder now. I'm going to go take some more Advil, though. So
okay. Please do. I hope you can get some sleep.
So much pain.
And that you're not up all night groaning and moaning.
And Dingo says thanks for letting her tag along. Yeah. Wait, I'm going to ask. You can't see this chat, and I got to put it someplace where you can see it. Isn't it like 6 o'clock in the morning where you are? I say, look into the camera now. Finally. Or 4? I can't math.
There are lots of people that work at night.
Yeah. Anyway. All right.
It's
well,
currently 1 o'clock in Australia.
4:15. 4:15. No. No. See, you said Australia. See, that's so fun. Her username on YouTube is Caught Dingoes. I automatically assumed Australia. She's Scottish.
Nice.
Yeah. So 4:15. Dingoes, love you to pieces. Would love to have you along. I am not going to get you in a game where you have to log in at 2 o'clock in the morning every week. Hard no. We'll figure something else out. Okay.
Exactly.
But well. I'm glad you were able to tag along. That was awesome. All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Talk to you later.